Hey, Christian here. So for this video, I want to share with you guys today my thoughts, my perspectives when it comes to low carb dieting. By no means am I trying to bash it. By no means am I talking shit. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It does work. It is effective. But I just want to share my ideas and thoughts as to why it's so effective for most people out there. Right, so first let's establish that the way we lose weight, the way our body loses weight is first we must deplete our body of its glycogen, whether it be with cardiovascular type activity or maybe 1 to 2 days of being in a caloric deficit is how we can deplete our body of its glycogen. So once our glycogen is depleted, we can lose weight. It gives us the freedom to get into our fat storage so that we may utilize that fat as energy, because that's really what fat is. It's stored energy so that we may survive the next famine, so to speak, right? So with the low carb diet, you're not eating any carbs. You're pretty much at max eating maybe 50 grams of carbs every single day, right? So let's say you're eating 50 grams of carbs every day. What's happening in your body? What's happening is, since your insulin, which is insulin is pretty much the storage hormone saying whether or not it's going to use this food, this or that, as going to use it for fat, it's going to use it, it's going to store it for muscle, store it for energy, store it for fat, whatever that may be, right? So insulin, storage hormone. Now, the way we spike our insulin is by eating carbs, right? So let's say you haven't been eating carbs all day and then you eat fruit, banana, something, rice, whatever that may be. Your insulin is spiked, so your body's not going to be utilizing the fat stores for energy, right? So that's the whole gist, I guess. Part of the whole gist when it comes to the low carb diet is, one, your insulin is low. It's not being spiked by carbs. Protein does spike your insulin. It really does, but it doesn't spike it to the extent as to a carbohydrate would spike your insulin. So if your insulin is spiked consecutively throughout the whole entire day, you're not really losing weight. Your body really isn't using fat for energy. The way we end up losing weight is pretty much when we're asleep. The 8 hours, 10, whatever hours that you're asleep is when your growth hormone is elevated, and it's pretty much almost like a fast, right? That's when your body is utilizing everything when you're asleep, growth hormone, everything, all the good stuff is happening. You're building muscle, you're burning fat. Everything is just happening when you're asleep, right? If you've had a full day of just strictly, like 6 meals, 5 meals, 3 meals throughout your day for the average person. So when it comes to the low carb diet, like I said, your insulin is low, meaning your glycogen is going to be low. So it's going to be a lot easier time for you to reach those fat stores so that you may continue to lose weight. So also, when it comes to the food, that is something extremely important too. So when it comes to any kind of low carb diet, for a fact, most people are consuming a high amount of meat, consuming a high amount of fat, which in and of itself, like meat, right? Let's say you eat tons of steak, you eat tons of chicken, turkey, whatever that may be. If you eat a lot of that, it's very, very satiating. So when you're on a low carb diet, you're eating a lot of fat. Also, fat is pretty satiating too, because your body doesn't digest fat as quickly as it would, a simple carb, right? So there's about 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. So the food you're eating is very satiating as well, so it makes it a little bit easier to stay hunger free on a low carb diet, depending on how your eating patterns are. So, I mean, when it comes to low carb diet, it's a pretty effective way to lose weight. It works. But if you're the kind of person that just doesn't work right when you're on low carbs and stuff like that, then don't try it. But if there's anybody out there and the low carb diets have been helping you tremendously, just keep doing it. Everybody thinks that there's one size fit all program for everybody, but in most cases there's always going to be a small little component that somebody has to switch around so that they could tailor it to their needs, right? So saying one diet is like fucking God or something, right? It's not. Different things work for different people. Usually there's every once in a while you'll see, a program out there that could speak to the general public, that will necessarily help them lose weight really quick. There's some that are like that, there's some that aren't. But at the end of the day, it's really what works for you, what you have tried, what you have experimented, what you find works for you when it comes to fitness. Just because this guy, got big using body weight training doesn't mean, you're going to end up getting the exact same results as this guy. So it's pretty much just maximizing yourself in what you can be as a human being. So to recap this video, man, low carb diets, they work. They're good. You know, just stick to a diet. Try and go to different diet, or a diet that, a program, whatever that may be, that you feel you can do. You know, so that's my 2 cents, my thoughts on low carb diets, kind of a rant. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I brought some value to you guys, and I'll catch you in the very next video. Had some fun making this video, so catch you guys in the very next video. Peace.